Hi, my name is DelmarshaeWalker. Welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is doing great today. The internet, in my opinion, is a blessing and a curse. And I feel like I can say that and I can see that because of how I grew up. You know, I grew up in a time period where there was no such thing as the internet. So you had more control over who your kids was around. If the people that your kids was around, do they have the same value as you do? Do they teach their children the same, principles that you believe in, or if they was different? It's very important when it comes to kids that they have a strong foundation. And when you're growing up in an era like that, there's certain things that you're teaching your kids, and then there's certain values that even when they do watch TV, you see those same values portrayed on TV. And it was like, if a woman and a male is walking to a store, going into a store, a building, whatever, the man, even if he didn't know the woman, he automatically opened the door for her. When a child spoke to an adult, they automatically said, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And then, everything was based on a firm handshake. You knew certain things you knew not to do, certain things you knew not to say. It's like there was a respect thing. If you wanted something, it's like, may I have this? You didn't just go around taking what you wanted. And then if someone did something for you, you said thank you. And then if you seen someone in need, you went ahead and helped them out. Even if they didn't ask for help, if you was in a position to help them, you would help them out. And that was just based on how the kids was raised, a firm upbringing on just certain principles. Nowadays, it's like it's not. When you have those strong principles, yeah, you're in a community and everyone is kind of the same in certain type of ways, in certain type of aspect. But when a child has that strong foundation and then they grow up and they go out in the world, they're still going to base their lives on that strong foundation. Not saying they're going to do something that might get them into trouble. Not saying they're going to, they're going to stray. But at the same time, they still have that strong foundation to navigate with. Oh, I can, maybe I shouldn't make this decision because it's wrong and this is why it's wrong. It's one thing to say don't do that, but it's another thing to say don't do that because these are the consequences behind them. Or don't do that because these are the things that can happen. Or you shouldn't do that. Yeah, it's going to benefit you, but look how it's going to affect other people down the line. Those are strong foundations that communications is built on when you're teaching your kids. It's not just don't do, it's don't do, why, don't do, because, or you should do. And this is how, you're doing something, what you're doing now may not benefit you, but it's going to benefit other people. As long as you're raising them on that strong foundation and sending them out there in the world, they're going to go out there with something to stand on. Kids of today, when I say the internet is a blessing and a curse, kids today don't have a strong foundation to stand on, but they've been sent out there into the world. Every time they pull up the internet, they're interacting with people you don't even know they're interacting with. They're interacting with people you don't even know what these people's core values are. They're interacting with adults. They're interacting with kids. They're interacting with perverts in some cases. So you really don't know who's truly molding your child, who's truly educating your child, what information they're instilling in your child. Unless you're just basically on the internet with them all the time, you don't know what's going on. And so if they don't start off with a core value, how can they navigate this world that's just so full of information? A lot of times kids will jump on something, but they never ask why. Why are we doing this? Or we shouldn't do this because, or why should we do this? Or will it hurt someone else? It's no, do it make me feel good? Yes, it made me feel good, so I'm going to run with it. That's the foundation they're getting now. In school, it's no better, and in churches, it's no better because there's no guidance in school to really give them that foundation, and it's no church to give them that foundation. Kids of today is like leaves. They're just blowing whatever direction the wind takes them in. They're blowing. They're not even branches. At least if a branch fall, it takes a little, a little effort for the wind to blow it away. These kids today are more like leaves. As soon as a breeze comes, they're floating away, going somewhere else, this direction, that direction, and they don't have anything to latch on to hold on to, no type of strong foundation. And it's sad because if I was a parent and my child came to me and said, hey, I want to drop out of school, get married, and have a bunch of kids, if I said okay, I would be looked at as a bad parent. My job as a parent to say no. Why would you drop out of school? That would be the wrong thing to do. Your education is very important. Why you want to get married to this person? How do you know you're going to still love this person? Right now, this is just puppy love. You think you love this person. You think you're going to be with this person for the rest of your life, but you're not. You're only 14 years old. You cannot make this decision at the age of 14 because your feelings, your emotions are going to change. That's my job as a parent. My job as a parent is not to say, well, okay, because I want to make you happy. Okay, go ahead and do that. Even though I'm supposed to be the smarter one because I have more life experience than they do, to say no. Feelings and emotions change. I'm not going to let you ruin your life and make a lifelong decision based on how you feel right now, knowing that your emotions can change. If my child comes to me and say, hey, I want to get a tattoo, they're 12 years old. That's going to be something permanently on their body. Y'all would look at me like I'm crazy if I said, yeah, me and my child, we're going to get a similar tattoo together. We're going to get the same tattoo. I would have all kind of people telling me, what is wrong with you? Why you're getting, letting your child get a tattoo? You're crazy. But we do it every day when these parents come and say, my child feel like they was born in the wrong body. My child feel like they should be a boy. My child feel like they should be a girl. And then these parents are allowed to let their kids get life-altering operations. Girls are able to get their breasts cut off and start taking male hormones, testosterone, which is killing their female hormone to the point that they're becoming sterile. Young men are able to take estrogen, female hormone, and get certain things done to their body. So, here they are growing breasts at a very young age. They can end up being sterile. And a human mind isn't fully functional, fully developed until they're 25 years old. This is a scientific fact. This is not my opinion. This is a fact. So if you know, especially the frontal cortex, where the decision-making skills are to be able to make right decisions, that's not fully formed until 25. If this is a scientific fact, what is such a rush to have these kids make life-altering decisions at such a young age when you know mentally they're not capable of doing that? Mentally, it might just be a feeling. If that feeling persists and they're 25 years old and they still want to make that decision, they can make that decision. But give them a chance to grow up. They might say, you know what, I don't want to have this surgery. Even if they still say, I feel like I should be a girl, I feel like I should be a boy, they still might not want to change their bodies. They might be okay with how they are, but you're not even giving them that chance to make that decision by saying, oh, let me go ahead and allow you to have surgery. People are making money off these kids, not knowing, and these kids got to take medication for the rest of their lives. If a man want to be a female, he has to take estrogen for the rest of his life. If a female wants to be a male, she's going to have to take testosterone for the rest of her life. And then who's to say once they become adults and then they say, you know what, this isn't the body I want. This isn't what I want for the rest of my life. I want to have kids. I want to have a normal life. They can't. That choice has been taken away from them before they was even old enough to make a choice for themselves. They complain when a doctor pulls a baby out of a mother. If the doctor see a penis, he said, this is a male child. If the doctor see a vagina, they say it's a female child. But then they want to go and say, hey, that's wrong. How can you assign a gender? Because that child don't know who they want to be. But you can allow them as a minor to have their body altered, and they still don't know who they might want to be. Isn't that being hypocritical? I would rather for a doctor to look at my child and say, hey, it's a penis, it's a boy, it's a vagina, it's a girl, than to have body parts cut off, to have medication given to them, and they still not fully an adult to make the decision of what they want to be. So you're telling the doctor he's wrong because of what he see and say. But then when your child comes to you and say something, you say, okay, this is what you want to be. Let me go ahead and give you estrogen. Let me go ahead and give you steroid. You wanted your breasts cut off? Let me cut them off. Oh, you want to grow breasts? Go ahead and grow breasts. But they're not 25. They're not a fully formed adult. So if a child cannot make a decision, because if a doctor can't say what he see and say it's a boy or a girl, because now you're trying to stick a label on your child, and they should be able to make that decision for themselves, why not wait till they're fully functional to make that decision for themselves instead of you making it for them? Because a lot of times with these parents, they're doing that because of them. It's no different than a father who wants to be a football player and something didn't work out for him, so he pushed his child out there. So now he's that parent out there in the crowd that you always see, you know, they're cheering this on, cheering that on. And you hear more from them than you do the child, because it's more of their dream than the child, or the parent that wants their child to be a singer or a dancer or whatever, and they push their child. And then you have that stage mother, you know, it's more about them than it is the child. And the child comes to them and say, hey, I don't want to do that. They're upset. They're not going to say, well, okay, you don't want to do that, that's fine. No, they're going to keep pushing because it's their ego. It's not about the child, it's their ego. So a lot of these parents are jumping on the bandwagon saying, hey, I could be a part of something. I could be a part of this community. I can let my child say he's transgender. Now I'm celebrated. And I'm letting my child go to the pride parade. I'm doing all this. But is it about what the child really wants? Because you're not even giving them an out. You're not even giving them an opportunity to say, you know what? I tried, you know, I thought I wanted to be this. I dressed like a little girl, but now, you know, I really don't want to do this anymore. I changed my mind. You're not even giving them that chance to do that. Excuse me. When you're letting them have surgery, you're changing their body. And the earlier they're doing that, because a lot of times they do it before the child even reached puberty. So certain things that are needed for them to be able to reach puberty, they're being sterile. They're not even giving it. So there's not even no, I'm gonna go back. There's no going back. So you're gonna have this adult that feel like they was cheated out of life. You know, they might end up hating their parents because of that. They might end up hating society because of that. They might end up hating themselves to the point that they no longer want to be here on this earth. You know, you don't know what the long-term effect on the decision that you're making is going to have on your child. I feel as a loving parent, you're going to say, look, I understand this is what you're going through, but it's my job to help guide you. If you still feel this way as an adult, you can have the surgery. You can do whatever you want to do. You're an adult then. But right now, at the age you are, I don't feel that's something that you should be doing. You got to be able to guide your kids at some point as a parent, instead of just saying, well, okay, you feel that way, okay, go for it. You know, if I had a child, my child was 13 and they say, you know, I feel like I can drive right now. I feel like I understand what driving is. I was playing a video game. I'm great at it. I'm not going to just go ahead and say, well, here's the keys. Go for it. You know, oh, and by the way, on your way back, stop at the store and pick me up a cookie. I'm not going to say that to my child. I'm be like, no, you can't have the keys to the car. You can't drive. You're not old enough. But now they don't do that. And I feel that the schools are failing kids and the churches are failing kids because they're not really doing their jobs to teach what's wrong and what's right, foundational. So you don't even have, there's no buffer when it comes to kids saying, well, okay, maybe because when I had the conversation with this person, or maybe when I asked this person, everybody's scared. Everybody just saying, oh, we just want happy, happy, joy, joy. That's not reality. The Bible is not going to make everyone happy. It's, as children of God, it's a rule book. As far as these are the rules that you're going to follow or should follow being a child of God. That's no different than if you're a parent, regardless of who you are as a parent. Every household got certain rules they want their kids to go by. This is what time I need you to get up. These are the chores that you're going to be doing. This is, you got certain rules to go by. You're not going to start, if you have a daughter, you might, and she interested in makeup, you might say, well, in this house, you're not going to start wearing makeup until you're 16. Or you're not going to start wearing makeup until you're whatever age. You're going to have certain rules or certain things that your son want to do. There are certain rules in your household that may or may not be the same. You might have core rules that's the same in everyone's household, but everyone's household is going to be different. But you're going to have certain rules that you're living by. And if you have a nanny come in, you're going to make sure your nanny understands these rules. Oh, I don't want my child drinking any sodas. So if y'all go out, they ask for sodas, don't get them sodas. If they ask for candy, don't get them candy. Because the rule in our house, we don't eat junk food. The rule in our house, we don't drink, sodas and things like that. So you're going to make sure your nanny understand, this is how I want my kids to be raised. So please understand the rules and raise my kids, when they're with you, please do the same. That's the same thing with God. God is our Father. He's giving us rules to go by. Pastors, preachers, you're the nanny, basically. So you're supposed to uphold the rules that God is giving as far as what's right and what's wrong. But in the churches, they're not doing that. In the homes, there's no rules. So the people that are educating your kids are on the internet. And if you think about it, if you sit and really looked at who your kids was watching, excuse me, if you sat back and really looked at who your kids were looking at on the internet, where your kids getting their information from, how your kids are, navigating the internet. If those same people were to ring your doorbell and you went to the door and you seen who they were, would you allow them to come in your house and go in the room with your child? Would you allow them to say, hey, I'm going to take your child to school today. I'm going to take your child to the park. If you were sitting there and you was hearing the conversation between that person and your child, would you be okay with the conversation they was having? Or would you be appalled by the conversation they was having? Would you go up and be like, oh, no, you got to go. You got to go, because I don't believe in that. I don't want you teaching my child that. But that's what's happening. Every time your child is in another room with their cell phone, with their computer, with their iPad, someone else is educating your child. Someone else is teaching your child. Someone else is molding your child. The same people that you would not allow us to walk through the front door, they're already in your house. And so with this political correctness, I'm sorry, because like I said, one of the things that my father taught me, one of the rules that we have as Christians, of everything, thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not fornicate, all these things that's in the Bible, even above murder. When Jesus was asked what was the most important rule, it was to love God above all else and to love your neighbor as you do yourself. So that's basically encompassing everything. Love and respect. That's basically what that means. So we need to go out with that core principle, love and respect everyone. So even when I say I don't believe in being political correct, I'm not going to be upholding to that, because I feel like if I'm being political correct, I can't be honest. I can be honest and be loving. I can be honest and be respectful. But you can't be political correct and be honest. Because now you're more or less thinking about, well, I don't want to get in trouble, because if I say something, someone's going to put a label on me. If I say something, someone's going to cancel me. So now I'm not going to say anything. Now I'm too scared to say anything. What is wrong with being honest? Like I said, honesty and respect goes a long ways. Honesty and respect will save a person's life. Honesty and respect will give you something to think about that make you say, hey, maybe this or maybe that. Honesty and respect will have you say, you know what? I respect how you feel. I don't agree with you. You don't agree with me. But I still love you. I still respect you. I'm still going to just walk away. You're not going to be sitting there holding grudges, because you're being honest with yourself and you're being honest with other people in a respectful way. You're not being honest in a way that's going to hurt someone or tear them down. Some people do that. That's just plain being mean or being a bully. It's a right way and a wrong way. You don't go around talking to people the way you do. If you don't want a person talking to you in a certain way, then don't talk to that person in that same way. That's what it is to treat someone the way you want to be treated. And I feel like the reason I'm saying this is because it's like, why y'all just can't leave kids alone and just let them be kids? It's just hard to understand why. Well, I understand why they're doing it. It's the money behind it. That's part of the way. Because think about it. The pharmaceutical company is making money when they have to take estrogen and testosterone. The surgical facility is going to make money when they do these surgeries, which still goes back to the medication, pain medications that they got to be on. Then for the rest of their life, like I said, they got to take medication. If they get to the point where they're saying, you know what, I made the wrong choice, I don't want to be in this body, now they're depressed, guess what they're going to have to do? Now they're going to have to take hormone, testosterone, depression medication. So getting rich. So the elite sitting back looking at all this like, yeah, we really got that plan in motion. We got them down there just so confused. They gonna need all kind of medications just to live in this world. So y'all just making them richer, and then y'all destroying y'all kids in the process.